Imagine a world where the air itself feels heavy, like something unseen is crawling through it, silently hunting. Imagine waking up one ordinary morning in a peaceful European town, birds chirping, merchants shouting, children laughing in the streets, and by nightfall half of those voices have disappeared forever. This isn't fiction. This isn't a legend. This is the true story of the moment in history when the world genuinely thought it was dying. This is the story of the Black Death, the plague that tore Europe apart, reshaped civilizations, and left a scar so deep that even today, centuries later, we can still feel its shadow. But the version you know, it's incomplete, because the real truth, the truth hidden beneath rewritten chronicles, church silence, and political manipulation, is much darker, much stranger, and far more terrifying. Let's go back to the year 1347. Europe was growing, bustling cities, expanding trade networks, ships moving like restless beasts across the Mediterranean. Kingdoms rose, kings fought, peasants worked, and life, although hard, was predictable. Until one day, 12 ships drifted into the port of Messina, Sicily. The sailors were dead, not dying, dead. Their skin blackened with strange boils, their eyes glazed, their bodies twisted in agony, frozen in the positions they died in. People rushed to the docks, confused, horrified, curious. They didn't know, they didn't realize, so that death had arrived, quietly, effortlessly, riding in on those ships like an uninvited guest. Within hours, the sickness spread. Within days, it became a storm. Within weeks, Europe began drowning. This wasn't just a disease, it was a fear that crawled underneath your skin. A whisper that something was wrong with the world itself. A terror so overwhelming that cities locked their gates, families abandoned their own, and priests refused to give last rites because even God seemed silent. The plague didn't just kill people, it killed hope. But the real horror is what came before it and what came after. Because historians now know that the Black Death wasn't a single event. It was the explosion point of something building for decades. Ecological imbalance, climate change, trade manipulation, and a mysterious shift in the natural world that no one understood. But let's stay in 1347, where the screams began. Picture a mother holding her coughing child. She wipes his forehead, whispers comfort, desperately prays he's just sick with a normal fever. But then she sees it, the swelling under his arm, the size of an apple, a bubo, the mark of death. Within hours, he's barely breathing. Within a day, he's gone. And here's the part that breaks your heart. The mother doesn't even have time to cry, because by sundown, she's coughing too. This was how fast it spread, a sickness that moved quicker than grief. Cities collapsed like knockdown dominoes. Florence, gone. Paris, drowned in bodies. London, choking in its own panic. The population fell so fast that entire villages vanished, literally disappeared, leaving behind silence in empty houses filled with rotting food, unwashed clothing, and half-finished meals sitting on abandoned tables. People believed the apocalypse had come, but imagine watching the apocalypse, day after day, for 4 straight years. Historians estimate 25 million dead in Europe alone, but new evidence suggests the number might have been far, far higher. But here's the question no one asks. Why did it happen? Why then? Why so violently? And why did it stop? This is where the story turns. Because the plague was not simply a medical event. It was the perfect storm created by human history itself. Let's go deeper. For years, something strange had been happening in Central Asia. Climate fluctuations causing rodent populations to explode, trade routes expanding, and Mongol armies unknowingly pushing the disease across continents like a shadow stretching under the sun. But the real trigger? It wasn't rats alone. It was humans. Our expansion, our greed, our hunger for gold and spices and trade. We connected the world faster than nature was ready for. And the plague rode those connections like highways. The Black Death wasn't a curse. It was a consequence. But if that was the cause, what about the aftermath? This is the part history books never tell you. Because the Black Death didn't just kill people, it changed everything. It destroyed feudalism because the workers who survived demanded rights. It triggered the Renaissance because society needed new thinking. It wiped out old systems and forced the birth of the modern world. But here's the chilling twist. The plague almost never stopped. It came back again and again and again. Every century, like a monster waking from sleep. But each time it came back weaker, until now, because scientists quietly warned something eerie. The bacteria that caused the Black Death, it still exists, alive, dormant, sleeping beneath soil, in wild animals, in remote corners of the world, waiting for the wrong moment, the wrong shift, the wrong spark, waiting like it did in 1347. And here's the scariest truth. We are connected more today than medieval Europe ever was. One flight, one port, one city, one mistake. History doesn't repeat, but it echoes. The Black Death wasn't just a tragedy, it was a warning, carved into human memory by the screams of millions. A reminder that the world can change in a single moment, that life can be rewritten in a single breath, that civilization is far more fragile than we think. So next time you walk through a crowded street, next time you touch a handrail in a subway, next time you sit on a train, surrounded by strangers breathing the same air, remember this. Once, not too long ago, the world stopped breathing, and no one saw it coming.